let us imagine that I'm speaking to you. So if your needs getting met are as important to me as my needs getting met, that's love. There's a mutuality to it, as you can see. There's a completeness to it, as you can imagine. And that's what you want to look for. You don't want to be in one of those relationships where one of you is a giver and one of you is a receiver or a taker. There's no fun there. Even if you're the one who's receiving everything, there's no fun because eventually there's going to be resentment. So if there's this mutuality, that is the most wonderful energy and the most wonderful connection that you can ever have.
Beautiful. Perfectly said. Now, what do you really believe is the very best gift that a man can buy for a woman on Valentine's Day?
Whatever she wants that you can afford. So whatever she wants that you can afford. So there are lots and lots of choices. And there's always a way to get that thing, whatever it is. Maybe part of that thing that she wants, or a discounted version of what she wants, or whatever it is. But it's about understanding your partner's needs, and it's about doing everything you humanly can in order to meet her needs. And just remember that each woman or each man have slightly different needs. So don't assume that what worked in the last relationship is going to work in this relationship. And remember, you're not in that relationship anymore, and maybe there were some problems about your gifts or your communication. So you always want to learn from every relationship.
There you go. Pay attention.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what
to us too. Pay attention to us. We're trying to make your life easier here. We're trying to save you a lifetime of misery and suffering.
Now, so what are the most popular gifts on Valentine's Day?
Well, 1.7 billion will be spent on candy out of 18.2 billion, and $2 billion will be spent on flowers. So those are the traditional gifts, and lovely, romantic, beautifully worded cards. But candy and flowers are the traditional ones. I don't recommend that, by the way, as the gift, but you can certainly get somebody some flowers and some candy in addition to something more important.
Aha, and I do know that you don't really think that these are the best choices, do you?
No, I really don't. If you're somebody who wants this woman to be your partner, unless you're a kid, unless you're, in your teens or your 20s, you want to really take this relationship seriously, I honestly believe that you need to get her something that is a diamond. It could be the tiniest diamond in the world. It could be a diamond from the least expensive discount store in the world. And I really encourage you to do that. And nowadays, it also has to be cruelty-free. So you have to really shop carefully. It is the thought that counts. It's not about how big it's going to be, but that is the traditional gift that says, I love you and you mean the world to me, and I'm expecting to be in a relationship with you for a long time. So that's what you really want to think about.
That sounds perfect. Now, how is romance different at different ages?
Well, I have a little story for you. I'm so glad that we're doing this. So my aunt was married for about 60 years to my really fabulous uncle. And then she was widowed. And about a year and a half ago, she found a new, wonderful man. And she was born in 1926, so you understand she is not a young woman, okay? I sent her a Valentine's Day e-card, and she said, "Thank you, dear Susan, for the lovely card. I'm busy now making a Valentine dinner. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Love, Aunt Lee." But isn't that amazing? So she was born in 1926, you do the math, and she's making a Valentine's dinner. And then that just shows what a wonderful woman she is. Because normally, if a guy doesn't take you out to dinner on Valentine's Day, most women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, are like, take me out. So it's really very, very sweet. And she's a fabulous cook. She studied at Cordon Bleu in Paris, so she's a fabulous, fabulous cook.
He's a very lucky man.
He
isn't
is. He's a very lucky guy.
Oh, that's beautiful. So see, romance at any age. Now, I'm curious what you consider the most perfect romantic weekend for most couples.
Basically, a Valentine weekend is like a mini honeymoon. That's really what everybody wants. So women traditionally want lots and lots of romance, and men traditionally want lots and lots of sex. So if you ask a man or a woman who come back from their honeymoon what was the most fabulous part of it, the answers you're going to get depending on who you ask and if you're speaking to them privately or not. So basically, if you're a woman wanting to give a man a fabulous Valentine's Day weekend, you know what the answer is. If you're a woman wanting to give a woman a fabulous Valentine's Day weekend, you know that a combination is required. And if you're a man, then you want to really step up the romance. We're talking about flower petals spread from the door to the bed, all over the bed, that kind of thing. Rose petals specifically in the bathtub, with the bubbles, all of that. Champagne, candy, and then what happens? You have a very sexy weekend too.
How exciting. It's a beautiful picture, Susan. But here we are tonight.
And they are too, unless they're watching it in repeat.
Now, I know that for sure you teach many people about dating, and it is online dating. I'm curious, is it getting more and more popular?
So far, for millennials, 1 in every 5 marriages is beginning online. And I'm sure that the numbers are going to go way, way up just in the next couple of years. Because with all the different apps now, you've got so many dating apps that there really isn't any reason for anyone to do much else unless it's a very wealthy guy who's going to, Marla Martinson, the fabulous Beverly Hills matchmaker, or, somebody like that. But otherwise, if you're a regular guy and you want to meet somebody, you're a regular woman, you want to meet somebody, you're only going to be smart if you also include online dating opportunities.
Wonderful. Isn't that brilliant? Now, what can a woman do to really inspire her partner the most?
Men are very visual. Everybody tells you this. Every article in Cosmo tells you this. So you want to have fabulous lingerie. You want to have really, really fabulous high heels. You want to go for it. So looking gorgeous is crucial. And if this is somebody who doesn't have a lot of money and hasn't suggested that he could take you out, then you want to do something sensational at home. Even if you buy the food and bring it there, because then you'll have a lot more privacy, so you'll have a lot more romance, and you'll have a lot more fun.
That sounds so enticing. Now, what if somebody really doesn't have enough money or to spend on an important gift? Can they go about making a coupon for their partner for anything? Let's say perhaps a massage, etc.
Yeah, and start by doing something wonderful at home, and then, of course, those are the perfect, lovely add-ins. And you know what he likes. If he's your boyfriend, if he's your husband, fiance, you know by now what he likes. So any of the things that he likes, you can put into a coupon.
Well, let's consider this. What about fantasy dates? What can a woman suggest?
Well, there's a wonderful book about 101 Nights of Love, and each page is sealed. Have you ever seen that book?
No.
Oh, it's very cool. And, every day or every night, you would just open one of the pages and read this, very, very romantic fantasy and do it. And it's not bondage, so it's just very cute romantic things. So that's one way to be very, very creative, very, very creative. And I'm sure by now there are lots of other books you can buy that have lots of other interesting ideas and videos as well.
It all sounds so fun. Now, let's think about this. What about the fantasy that perhaps men would like to suggest to a woman?
Well, if you're smart and you're a guy, it's got to be romantic. So if you're smart and it's a guy, that's what you want to do. Just as if, you're going to be thinking about marriage proposals at some point, it's got to be really romantic. I was just watching one of the late shows, Seth Meyers, and this very, very cute comedian and actor, Pete Holmes, was talking about being in a hot air balloon with his girlfriend, and it was hilarious. I mean, it was really, really hilarious. Because a hot air balloon basket is very, very small. I mean, it's not a whole lot bigger than this table, really. Maybe, twice the size of the table. And there were 3 of them. And he said the guy who's operating the hot air balloon is like right on top of them, taking pictures and taking videos for them. But, there was no privacy. So it was really very, very funny. But you can imagine how thrilled his girlfriend was when he suggested it, because it's a very, very romantic gesture. And that's what women like, cruises and amazing dinners and, weekends in Paris and all that. That's what makes women most excited. Even if it's, Paris and Las Vegas.
Oh, there you go. So what about the different kinds of cruises? Does that sound romantic?
Oh, so many people love cruises. I know I always did. Make sure that, neither of you get seasick, of course. Even though you can have those wristbands, it's really no fun. But there are so many incredible cruises. I mean, I've been on, cruises around Bali. I've been on, hornblower cruises out of Santa Monica. There are certainly fabulous cruises up here, and also from the Ventura Harbor. I was on an amazing cruise from Santa Monica to Catalina with Jeff and his son and a whole bunch of people in 2 matching sailboats, 60-foot sailboats. That was fabulous. So if you love boats, then cruising is so romantic and wonderful. And let's face it, if you're going on a cruise, make sure you're going on one that's overnight, because that makes it even more romantic.
Oh boy. Now, what about a man that really, how can he really motivate a woman to marry him if the relationship begins with her being indifferent?
Well, it depends on her age. It depends on what is important to her. So a lot of young women are going to be more easily seduced if they want to have children and you're a stable, stand-up kind of guy, and you just project this image that you're someone that someone could have a child with. However, the problem for you is she may marry you, she may have a child with you, and she may not have ever fallen madly in love with you. And that will start to really infuriate you, because everybody deserves love. So I teach people how to motivate and inspire all sorts of behaviors. In this case, I just want you to be really aware that if you are with a woman who's captivated by the circumstances or by the benefits or, God forbid, by the gifts and the trips, you've made a mistake. Because if you want love and you want lifelong love and partnership, that's not the way to get it. So step your game up, be your most alpha male and your most charming and your most magnetic, seductive, charismatic, all that, but then see what happens and don't chase her. Please don't chase her.